What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today I'm going to give you the top 5 news stories on stimulus checks. So let's go ahead and get started. I have my cards here, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. So the first thing we're going to talk about, enhanced unemployment. So there's some information about that I want to share with you guys. We're also going to talk about the GOP. They now have a skinny bill. So the senators, they're creating the skinny bill. We should hear about it in the next couple of days. So we'll know more information, what's in the skinny bill, but we'll talk a little bit about some of the different things that they're looking at when it comes to that. Another thing we're going to talk about is the House. The House is coming back. So they're going to come back from recess and they will vote on Saturday. They're going to be voting for a postal bill, some more funding for the Postal Service. So we'll talk about that. Postmaster General. Now, this is breaking. This just happened a couple of hours ago. Postmaster General had some stuff to say, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then the last thing we want to talk about is the stimulus check debate. What is going on with the stimulus checks? So we were hearing a lot of talk of stimulus checks. President Trump was saying stimulus checks are going to be larger than what the Democrats want, all this different stuff. And now it's kind of quiet when it comes to stimulus checks. So we need to dive in and talk a little bit more about that. But the first thing I'd like for you guys to do is please hit that like button. If you do that, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. We're trying to make this video go viral. So if you hit that like button, I would really, really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. We do daily videos and we do live streams on the weekends. So if you like stuff like that, subscribe to the channel. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first story we're talking about, the enhanced unemployment. So we have some information, and I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about it. So we have some states that have already been approved. So Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Louisiana, Missouri, New Mexico, and Utah. Those are the states that have been approved for the enhanced $300. So they will be receiving the $300. Now, oddly enough, South Dakota declined it. So they don't even want the $300. They're like, yeah, you know what? You can go ahead and keep that money. So that's good because it helps out some other states that really, really need it. But the catch here is 3 weeks. They're guaranteeing 3 weeks right now. And then after that, they're going to do a week-by-week basis. And so we already knew that it was going to be 4 to 5 weeks, so it'll probably fall within that range. If they can't get anything out anytime soon, then we're looking at just getting one lump sum check, and that'll be it. They'll be done, and then they'll have to move forward when it comes to that. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all rolls out. But right now, yeah, that's where we are with enhanced unemployment. It's going to be over before it gets started. And that, I mean, this is one of those situations where as soon as the Senate comes back from recess, they're going to have to address this. So although it might not seem like it's a good thing, it might be a good thing because it's another timetable that's going to have to be addressed. So it might actually work out for another stimulus package. Hopefully we're not going to have the president step up again and say, oh, I'm going to do another executive order. Really, there's no money left. So he's going to have to pull from somewhere else. This money wasn't even available. He had to pull it from FEMA, and that poses more problems when it comes to hurricanes and things like that that we might see in the near future. Unfortunately, there might not be the funding, and they might have to go to Congress to get funding for hurricane relief. There's, I think, about $25 billion right now, but still, like I'm saying, they had more money, but they had to divert that money for the enhanced unemployment. So the next story I want to talk about is the Postmaster General, so DeJoy. So he basically right now he's saying that he's going to suspend any further changes to the post office. So they're not making any more changes until after the election. They don't want it to look like or to appear that they're trying to mess up the election, basically. And so they're not going to do any more changes. Now, there's no talk of them going back to where they were, like going back to full capacity. So that, I mean, and like I said, I've worked at the post office before, so I kind of know how things work. If you start pulling machines out and things like that, which they've already done, well, are they going to bring those machines back? Or are they just going to keep those machines wherever they are, not in use? Because if they don't bring those machines back, then they're going to have a harder time. So by him saying that they're suspending things, are they going to go back to their full capacity, or are they just going to stay where they are? There's no talk about that. So that's something that I would really want to know about when it comes down to it. So the main reason I think we're hearing this today is because the Postmaster General, he's starting to feel some heat when it comes to, are we going to be able to have a fair election? And so I think he's making these moves now. Now he does have some hearings that he's going to have to attend. On Friday, they're going to have a Senate hearing, and then on Monday, the House will have a hearing with the Postmaster General. So they'll be asking him questions and grilling him about different things. So that should be pretty interesting television to watch, just to see where they're going with this. Now, this is a real serious situation. And it's not just the election. We're talking about even after the election, because there could be some problems election day as far as, are the ballots going to get to the states on time? Because if they don't get there on time, then some states will turn them away. So you might have voted, you sent your mail the right way, and it didn't get to where it needs to get in the state in the right amount of time. And then they just won't count those votes. So this is a very, very important thing. It's very imperative that the Postal Service is able to send this mail out and get it there at the right time. Also, when you're talking about medications and things like that, a lot of veterans, they rely on medication and they get their medication through the mail. And so situations like this, if your mail is delayed a couple of days, it could be life or death for certain people. So just something to think about. All right, the next story I want to talk about is the House. So we heard that Nancy Pelosi, she's indicated that this recess that they're on right now, she's calling everybody back. So they're all going to come back. And then on Saturday, they're going to have a vote, and they're trying to fund the Postal Service. So $25 billion is what they're looking at putting in this bill. And they also want to block any organizational changes when it comes to the post office. So that's another thing that they're looking at. Now, I talked about this yesterday in a live stream, but it would be interesting if maybe they put a stimulus check in there as a part of the bill. I don't know. It would be nice, but we'll have to see what they do with this. Nancy Pelosi's already indicated that she wants to make it streamlined. So she wants it mainly to be this Postal Service funding so it could get passed fast, so it won't take any time. You start putting other things in there, and then people are going to start talking about, oh, you're just putting in pork and all this kind of stuff. So I guess in saying that, we're probably not going to see a stimulus check in there, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe, right? Okay, so the next story I want to talk about, we're going to go ahead and go over to the desktop here. So we need to talk about this. So this is a skinny bill that the GOP senators are interested in presenting. And so within the next couple of days, they're going to bring this out. And so that'll be interesting to see what they do with this. Now, I don't think that they're not planning on doing anything as far as a vote until after they return from recess. So that's what we're looking at right now. So we're going to see the House bill go through first. And if that gets approved, then this one will come after that. So I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel about the House says they're going to do a bill, and now the Senate is stepping up and they say they're going to do a bill. And it's like, are they playing games with us or what? Like, just get something done. But this might not be the one, and I'll explain to you why. So let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff they're talking about here. So some of the main stuff they're talking about as far as what will be in the bill, they're looking at the unemployment benefits, so funding unemployment benefits, which this is something that's going to have to happen, right? So when they return from recess, the first thing that's going to be on their list, or should be, is to try to figure out what they're going to do with enhanced unemployment, because it will probably be it will run out by then. They're not going to have any money left. And so that's something they're going to have to address. Funding for schools. So we know that that's always there. The virus testing, this is good. They want to have some funding for virus testing. Now, we don't know amounts yet, and that's really important, right? We need to know how much, but we don't know yet. So we're going to have to wait. Small business relief, that's something else that they have on the table. And then the PPP program, so having funding for that, of course. PPP ran out August 8th, and this is a popular program, so they want to stick with this and not make any changes when it comes to that, and add some additional funding. Now, right here, this is important. It says the package also could include, okay, and we're looking at, this is roll call. This is the source that we're looking that we're using here. Okay, so we don't know the information from the Senate. They have not provided anything yet. Hopefully they'll provide something in the near future. But there right now it says the package also could include a new round of the $1,200 stimulus checks. So could include, but these things up here, I guess they probably already said that, yeah, these are the things that we're targeting, and we might put the direct payments in there. So that's kind of dangerous. And that's dangerous because if you create a skinny bill and it doesn't have stimulus checks in it, guess what? Those stimulus checks are going to get pushed off, and we might not see them. Okay, so at least might not see them this year. It might not be able to see them until next year, depending on what administration is in office. Because I think if Trump, wins, then we probably won't even see a stimulus check because he won and he'll be happy with that and he'll just move on. I think if the Democrats win, then they might still be open to changing a lot of things. And part of it is doing a stimulus check, maybe even doing the monthly stimulus checks like Kamala Harris had talked about in the past. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the election. But right now, this is one of those things that it could be on the table, but it might not be. So it's probably at the bottom of the list of what they're looking at in this skinny bill. Other things that they're looking at: liability protection for businesses and schools. So we know that's something that Mitch McConnell really wants, and so that's where they are when it comes down to it. So I don't know what to tell you guys when it comes down to this whole thing. Skinny bills, I don't like them. And I've mentioned this before. I do not like the skinny bills. I don't like the idea of a skinny bill. Do the full bill, because when you start pushing stuff back, then that's when stuff starts to get left out, and they hope that you just forget about it. Okay, so and that's what we want to talk about when it comes to this last story: stimulus checks. I know I talked about the stimulus checks with the skinny bill, but there was a time when stimulus checks, that's all people were talking about. Late June, July, all you heard was stimulus checks. You had the president saying stimulus checks are going to be larger than what the Democrats want. You had Democrats saying, yes, stimulus checks are good. The HEROES Act was passed. It had stimulus checks in it, $1,200 for individual, $1,200 for dependents. And then you have the HEALS Act. It had stimulus checks in there, $1,200 for individuals, $500 for dependents. So now you're not hearing much about it. The negotiations are happening. We're hearing about enhanced unemployment, eviction moratorium, a variety of different things, but you're not hearing about stimulus checks anymore. So this is one of those things we need to keep that going. And when I say keep that going, I mean you need to call your Congress people, let them know, hey, we're still interested in stimulus checks. We still need stimulus checks. You have businesses like Walmart just coming out a couple of days ago or today. I think maybe it's yesterday or today, basically saying, look, that the stimulus stuff works. Okay, it's helping us out. It's helping businesses out. And if you help a business out, then they'll hire more people. So they're telling the government, hey, this is working. But for some reason, the government wants to hold off and they don't want to spend a lot of money. They want to do the cheap thing. Cheap can be expensive. Like I say all the time, it could cost you more money. We see this executive order with the enhanced unemployment. That's going to be $44 billion. That's going to last for 3 to 4 weeks, and then it'll be done. And now we're going to have to do another package, which is going to have more money for enhanced unemployment. Instead of getting it all done in one deal, we're spreading it out, but we're still spending a lot of money, right? And so God knows how much it's going to cost for the payroll tax deferral. That's going to be something else that's going to be talked about September 1st. That's going to be enacted. So there's so much stuff going on right now, and we have a budget debate that's going to happen in September. So this is just a crazy time, and we'll just have to see where things go. So that's all I have for you guys today, but I want to know what you guys think. So in the comment section, let me know what you think about these 5 stories. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.